time.
We were having an exciting discussion and introductions here with little movie perp. Is that what we should call you?
Yeah, or
Lil, Lil.
perp would be funny.
Okay, perp. So yeah, we're having some exciting discussions with perp.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was just
uh,
asking about how Preston went from screenwriting to comics. Was that like a huge adjustment?
No, no.
I,
It was
I, I, don't- I
pretty
don't think it's very much different at all, really.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
no. So
uh, other than the fact that you're writing for a specific moment in time rather than a scene, so to speak. But yeah,
Really? So you don't have to condense like the dialogue or anything? You pretty much got exactly what you wanted?
well,
And
dialogue
If your
should be
di-
the same. Yeah.
if
So,
your dialogue needs to be condensed, it needs to be condensed.
yeah.
sure.
Like the dialogue shouldn't change much between script and comic, really. You gotta have your characters say what they're gonna say, right? So
They need to say exactly what they need to say and
Yeah.
nothing more.
Sure.
And in a comic book, it actually, I have noticed that when I think in terms of when I go from screenplay to comic, I end up cutting down on my dialogue because there's just no room for it on the page. So
Yeah.
I either make them say the same thing in less words, or I cut lines. And then when I go back to re-edit my script afterward, I typically keep the lines after they've been edited for the comic, because if it can be said in less words, that's the way you want to do it. So,
sure, makes sense.
and when I was doing film, I preferred to have my dialogue be as little as possible, so that my actors could breathe life into the dialogue and kind of make it their own.
Yeah.
So I find having very limited dialogue is better anyway.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I know you got your critique for my script then.
Okay.
There's a couple monologues there that I've been looking to cut anyway.
Yeah, monologues are hard in movie. You're submitting a screenplay or a comic?
Screenplay.
Yeah, monologues are hard to do.
Yeah.
Hard to pull off, I should say. They're easy to do. Anybody can sit there and drone on, but there's a reason why. Like, what was the Chamberlain movie that came out, and he was one that was known to drone on and on and on. But in the movie, they Chris Nolan Chris Nolan's known to drone on too, but they didn't have some. No, it wasn't. That wasn't the Chris Nolan one. Chris Nolan was the one that had no dialogue. It was the other guy that I'm blanking on the exact titles, but it was the same basic premise.
Oh, The Illusionist? Are you thinking of The Prestige and The Illusionist? That those movies came out more or less the same year? No?
No, I'm talking about the World War II ones where they were getting the people off the beach.
Oh, Dunkirk.
Dunkirk was Chris Nolan, and then the other one that came out the same time focused more on, I think it was Chamberlain, the British Prime Minister at the time.
Churchill.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, the one with Churchill. See, Chamberlain was in it, right? Chamberlain was the other guy that Churchill replaced.
yeah.
See, I knew they were all there. Yeah, so Churchill was the one that is known to drone on, but they cut down a lot of his speeches in that movie because, nobody wants to sit and watch a movie of Churchill going on and on and on for 45 minutes.
I would totally watch that. But anyway.
Well, sure, but that's what a historical documentary is for, not a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. So, perp,
Yeah.
tell us about this the story we're gonna look at.
Oh, cool. This is the one I briefly talked about last session. It's called...
I don't remember that at all. You're gonna have
It's called PED, Performance Enhancing Drugs.
Okay.
It's sort of my more horror-esque ode to the great, what I like to call the invitational fight movies that were Done in the late 80s, early 90s. You have your blood sports, your kickboxer,
Okay, got it.
best of the best, those type of.
Yes, those
and-
movies.
Yeah, and injecting a little bit of I guess, trying to do a David Cronenberg-esque
Yeah.
horror into it. It's about pharmaceutical companies that set up a tournament so they could test out all their crazy drugs on these fighters.
I like it.
Sounds interesting.
Sounds like a plan.
Does.
Yeah.
Okay. Put this there. All right. Perp, who do you want to narrate? We got. Okay.
I'll narrate. Preston.
Okay. All right.
Preston, you could be Armando, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Sure.
And then
Armando.
it's been a while since I even I think it's Amanda. Amy, sorry. Amy. Okay, Amy. I don't like to put people on the spot, so unless it's Preston, of course. So if anyone wants to be Amy, any volunteers?
Sure, whatever.
Awesome. John, you're Amy, and then we'll figure it out as we go from there. All right, so interior, dark room night. A long corridor leads up to a dark room with one light shining over a black plastic bag sitting in the center of the room. Something large is inside of it. Just then it slightly moves, then some more. It suddenly jolts violently, and we make out that someone is in there. Two bloodied hands pierce through a hole in the bag and slowly tear it open. We are unable to make out who's inside, but we see an injured man, bloodied from head to toe. On one of his arms, an almost translucent glowing fluid leaks out of inside of his elbow. Stunned, the injured man gets up and looks down the narrow hall and sees no one. A loud siren. He lethargically plods his way out of the room and through the long corridor as we cut to interior, undisclosed office, night. A white woman in her late 20s sits across a messy desk. Her good looks are masked by bruises and swelling. Her surroundings are dimly lit, other than the desk lamp bouncing off the white papers, illuminating her from below. This is Amy.
We met at college. I was a communications major, and he was wrestling on a scholarship that helped Hispanic athletes. I had to interview him when he was on a win streak. I was attracted to him right away. The tattoos, his confidence, the fact that he was a warrior. There wasn't guys like him in my hometown. I fell for him.
When did you get married?
Continued. She is being questioned by an unseen man. His voice is direct, but somehow warm.
After Felix was born, it wasn't forced or anything. I knew I was going to marry him. It was just that Felix helped speed up the process.
Amy's eyes get glassy.
He was a good dad. He still is, even after...
Tears begin to fall.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't have to tell me anything. Oh, no, that's you.
Amy, continue?
That does say
Okay.
that, but the next line is not coming from Amy.
That's true. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to. I know this is difficult.
Amy is handed a tissue.
It's been hard, yeah. He would tell me how dangerous it was to have one foot in and one foot out. It's how most fighters lose their edge. To make this work, he said he had to be two different people. A monster in the octagon and a father, a husband everywhere else. He pulled it off at first, but every once in a while, these two personalities would leak into each other. We still managed to make it work.
How?
By letting go of my dreams and help him with his. I dropped out of graduate school and got a job as a waitress. It kept us afloat, but just barely.
Amy collects herself.
My dad hated his job too, but did it to feed us, you know? He still works, even at his age. Part of me feels guilty for that. I was the first to go to college in my family, and he was so proud. But once I met Armando, all of that went out the window. My parents gave me so much shit, but I didn't care. I had my own family to worry about.
She laughs through tears.
I'm sorry. I'm assuming this unseen man again.
Yes.
Tell me
yes.
about your
yes.
day to day.
Cut to interior Armando and Amy's apartment bedroom. Flashback morning. A small master bedroom with an outdated decor. It's not even outdated enough to be the point of being considered retro. Most of the space is bathed in an assortment of brown colors. The silhouette of Amy waking up and rising from the bed.
I usually woke up while he was doing his morning workout. Jason would be there already setting up his breakfast. Armando had given him a key.
Interior Armando and Amy's apartment, the kitchen. Around the apartment, a cachet of vitamins and juice powder take up every corner possible. It looks like an unkept GNC store scattered their inventory haphazardly throughout. Jason, cliche jock type, mixes fruits and powders in a blender. He gives Amy a nod. I'll do Jason.
Where are we? I've lost the script a little bit
Yeah,
here.
you
We're on top
scroll
of-
down, scroll down, scroll down.
Yeah,
We're on
this is
Felix.
It's messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think your export from whatever software you did to PDF seems to have gotten a little wacky.
Yeah, I got a little wacky in the scene transition, the page transition. Sorry. I'll be Jason. Felix is up,
Thanks.
and I brought in your mail. She is handed a bunch of opened envelopes.
These are already open.
Sorry, Armando and I are expecting some forms Lee said he mailed. There's a final notice letter for the electricity. He runs an old juice mixer that churns up chalky protein shake. The kitchen lights dim as he powers it up. We should get that taken care of, right? Amy is still too tired to be annoyed.
Jason had a key to our apartment and everything. I didn't like it, but Armando trusted him. When a fight was about to happen, he'd pretty much live with us. That's how they do it.
Listless, Amy is robotic with her routine.
What was Jason giving him?
I tried to keep up, but it's constantly changing. Supplements can get banned out of nowhere, and fighters, with their camps, that have to adjust. It's a messed up cycle.
Amy watches Jason set an array of colorful pills next to a green health drink. Continued.
Your husband was juicing?
Cut 2. Amy is choosing what to say carefully.
Try to understand. This one time I mistook Felix's Ritalin for one of his supplements, and I tried, and it got bad. He was furious. Thank God he wasn't in a camp. I don't think Ritalin is a banned substance, but still, that was the worst I've ever seen him. He was obsessed with taking care of his body. They all are.
And are you taking any form of medications?
So Armando and Amy's apartment, it's the bathroom. A medicine cabinet swings open, filled with bottles and prescription drugs. It closes, revealing Amy staring at them for a beat before swallowing them. She continues her morning routine and pours crunched ice into the bathtub. So we cut to still the apartment. Amy and her 8-year-old son Felix sit around a cheap dining room table. Felix watching cartoons with a full bowl of untouched cereal in front of him. A hoodied Armando, Hispanic, late 20s, enters covered in sweat. Loud music blares in the headphones he's wearing. He goes for the green shake waiting on the counter, swallowing it in one giant gulp. Armando goes to the master bedroom, ignoring Amy and Felix. Anyone want to be Felix? Any takers? All right, I'll do Felix. So,
No,
Dad.
I'll do it.
Oh, I was muted. Not saying I'd do it.
All right,
Dad's working.
Yes, just a few more days and he'll be back to normal.
That answer is never good enough.
Finish your breakfast, sweetie.
I'm not hungry.
So Armando and Amy's apartment. This is the bathroom. Armando lays in a freezing tub, oddly calm, with a wet towel on his face. Amy enters.
Felix really wants to go tonight.
Armando doesn't bother removing the towel.
Don't look at me. You're the one not letting him.
It'd help if you could back me up a little. I don't want to be the bad guy all the time. Tell him he's still not old enough.
I don't like to lie to him. I was already competing at his age. I see fighters bring their kids who are way younger, too.
Amy knows when to quit.
So can I wash your gear yet?
No.
Lee said this is how infections happen.
I like my opponent to see the dry blood. It messes with their head.
And if you get sick, it could mess with yours.
No, it won't.
Amy can't help but smile at her husband's cockiness.
So listen, after this fight, I'm going to try to get extra shifts.
No faith in me this time?
No faith you'll get paid on time, like the other times. We're late on some bills.
We won't have to worry after tonight.
We won't have to worry about electricity either.
Armando pulls her in and kisses her. Her arm sinks into the ice-cold tub, soaking her sleeve. Shocked, she pulls back.
I don't know how you do that.
I have.
I don't know what happened there. I have no line, I guess.
I have.
I have two.
I have to. Yeah, that could work.
Oh, I have
Awesome.
to. Oh, yeah, okay. I have to. There we go.
Yeah. He slips the towel back over his face, and then we're in the hotel ballroom corridor later that day. Backstage is a commotion of trainers, promoters,
By the
and
way, just see that most
His
of
formatting's
the-
all messed up.
yeah.
Something he did when he exported,
Okay.
the page numbers are off, everything's off.
Okay. My only note was going to be that the resources I cite say that cut to is kind of deprecated in spec scripts.
Sure.
There's a few things that in spec scripts he's kind of overdoing, but his slug lines are a little wordy for,
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
For sure.
it wasn't. It's fine.
All right. Sure. Okay. So backstage, commotion of trainers, promoters, a few fighters shadowboxing in shadowy corners, away from the buzzing distraction of the fight event in full swing. The cheers of the crowd echo across the halls. Cut to hotel ballroom, green room. Felix at her side slowly opens a door and peeks inside. She is immediately stopped by Armando's middle-aged coach, Lee. Oh, sorry, I missed one part. That was Amy opening the door with Felix at her side. She is immediately stopped by Armando's middle-aged coach, Lee. He is focused on preparing his fighter, but manages to greet Amy with a disconnected smile. I'll be Lee. Now's not a good time, Amy. Armando paces in the background like a madman. He gives his chin soft jabs while going through his breathing exercises that sound more like painful grunts. Amy notices this and gently tucks Felix behind her.
Felix just wanted to wish him luck.
Amy gives Lee a sheet of paper with a drawing of 3 stick figure version of the family. I'll give it to him after he wins the fight. Let him stay focused, yeah? Lee pushes the door to a close, looks down at the drawing before folding it and putting it away. We then cut to the hotel ballroom. It's the octagon in the center of a half-filled convention. The sparse crowd cheers, the chain-linked fence, blood on the mat. The fighters in the ring used to the side ignore the stains on the mat and continue tussling. Amy's in the crowd among the rabid fans. Fight fans, anxious and constantly attentive to her son's reaction. Amy notices the family of Armando's opponent sitting a few feet away, a mother and son as well. They are both yelling vulgarities at Armando. This makes Amy uncomfortable. She doesn't want Felix exposed to this. Still in the octagon, the two fighters go to war inside. Half-filled convention, blah, blah, blah. A buzzer signal that ends the round. Both fighters go to their corners. One of these combatants is Armando. On his back, the beads of sweat and blood trickle down a large tattoo of a traditional Aztec warrior in battle. His cornermen seal the bleeding cuts and gel the bruises on his face while Lee advises. You're telegraphing that right hook. He sees it coming every time. Give him a 2-4-3 combo. That'll soften him up, and you can go for the underhook and slow him down. Armando isn't listening. His eyes are fixed on his opponent.
Fucker's smiling at me.
God damn it. Stop headhunting or you'll gas out. You listen to me? He knows you're winning. Armando keeps staring back at his opponent, who watches from across the octagon as his crew works. He cracks his smile behind his bloodied mouthpiece. He's trying to get to your head. Pay attention. Hey, focus. You've got a lot of people watching. Okay, Armando, shape up. That moment, Amy and Felix try to focus on what's being said in Armando's corner, but can't make anything else. Felix, do we have a Felix?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Does Dad know why we're here?
Amy tries her best with a fake smile.
He does. He's just really focused right now.
So the bell rings. It's the next round. Referee signals both fighters to the center for the last round. Armando gives his family a passing glance like they're just another spectator. Even so, this excites Felix and in turn pleases Amy. As Armando gets up, he leaves Lee with,
I know what I have to do.
Armando joins his opponent in the center of the octagon, ready to fight. And it's not going for the knockout. Lee retreats back to his team and frustratingly throws the towel flung over his shoulder to the ground. Armando ignores Lee's advice.
I think that's the end of page 10.
Ah,
I
okay.
think that's what that 11 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, 10 pages.
All right, that's good.
So, well,
Very wordy.
yeah, I mean, you certainly presented a world. We got Armando, and he's there, and he's fighting, and he's trying to get along with his girl, and that's kind of tough. And there's certainly some. I'm getting the sense of Armando's sacrifice, as well as the need to get an edge, and the casual abuse of performance-enhancing drugs. So I think you certainly delivered on setting up your story.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're a really strong 10 pages, I would say, introducing your world, your characters. It kind of draws you in. The interview style, which I'm not particularly a fan of, but I think it kind of works here because we kind of know something's about to happen. So it kind of sets that up. It's a good way. I'm not a fan of any kind of narration or anything like that in a story, but if you're going to do it, this is, there's worse ways to do it. So I think the interview style kind of works on that. It quickly gets us up to speed with what we need to know. And it does kind of hint to a deeper, darker threat that's looming. So I think in that case, it works. Character dynamics between characters are interesting. So yeah, I think it's a pretty decent opening.
Awesome. Thank you.
Skinny?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, you really had me engaged. I kind of want to call bullshit on John because I didn't want to stop reading it. Your story did draw me in. I was very interested in seeing where this was going. I'm invested in wanting to know what happens to Armando in the ring, whether he actually, ends up losing this fight and something, horrendous happening or what. I'm not sure, but I want to find out. And that is a very good thing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Danny?
So I was really suspicious of the narration at the beginning, but it's well written. And the way it's used to characterize the action that we're about to see in the back half was really effective. Because we don't see a lot of Amy there, and I really like that she's the one telling the story. Yeah, and it was engaging. There's a strong mystery that you open up with, which is always a good start. And you have the dialogue and the action mention enough of stuff like the drugs that we know that's at least part of the direction it's going to go. So this is a really great setup for the first act.
Thanks. Awesome.
Larry?
Yes. I think I found it a little hard to follow personally, but maybe that's just me.
We're not on constructives yet.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
That's so.
That's as
I
good
don't
as
know
it
if
gets.
I
get
don't
it.
know if
Alright.
I have a lot of positives
Well,
to add. So
Yeah, all
yeah,
right. Well,
yeah,
all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's all
Moving
it's
on.
all fine. It's all fine.
Okay. All
yeah.
right. Molby. Molby.
He was muted.
All right. Larry, start us off.
Okay. Yeah, I did find it a little hard to follow, but I found it building up the tension and whatnot. I found it just a little bit too long in the
Mhm.
beginning to jump into the fighting part when your story is about fighting. So I think it would be stronger to start with the fight, then jump into the interview, so we at least get a little bit of sense of what's going on and what's happening there. So
Oh, yeah, that's a
it's
good
just
point.
it's just a little talky at the beginning, you know.
Yeah,
And for a
yeah.
comic book, yeah, for a script it works, but for a comic book, you want to draw them in a little bit more visually at the beginning. So
And John, did you have some construction?
Yeah. To I can kind of understand what Larry's talking about with opening visually. From as a screenplay as it is, I think depending on what the story's about, that's the only thing I was going to bounce off what Larry said, is because I'm not sure if the story is about the fights or if the fights are simply the vehicle that carries the story. That could determine how you want to do that. But I think part of it, Larry's issue with following it is exactly what you said when you finished reading. Is you said that was really wordy. And yes, it was very wordy, which is actually one good thing especially when the writer is actually reading their own dialogue, because sometimes you don't realize how wordy your scripts are until you're actually reading it. And that was
there
one
it
of those
is.
things, like in a spec script, you don't want to be that verbose. You want to be as neat, your lines, and short and sweet and simple as possible, because you want those words to just flow off the page. Because a spec screenwriter, you're not you're not submitting a script to be produced. You're submitting a script to be read by
Right.
a guy that reads hundreds of screenplays a day or a week, all day long, and all he wants to do is get to the next one so that he can be done and go home. And if he finds the one that actually is good, he passes it on to the producer. So when you're writing to the spec script, the spec reader, you want to make his job as easy as possible. At least that's the goal. That's why you tend to. There's some little tricks and little things. You don't have to write out the entire slug line. You know, the continueds aren't really necessary, and your cut twos get kind of extenuated. You know, the director and the script doctor, they'll put all that crap in when they need it. But
Mhm.
for reading, you want the narrative to flow. You want to feel the story, and you don't want to get bogged down by all those words. So yeah, it was a little wordy in that regard, and that was my main thing, was just just try to be as short and sweet and simple as possible. Only write what's on the screen. Don't worry about writing things that we can't see. It's like the one scene. It's fine to say that the wrestling mat has dried blood on it, but you don't need to tell us that the characters on doing the fight are ignoring the
I,
blood on the mat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
know they're ignoring it
right.
because they're
Absolutely,
just
absolutely.
ignoring it.
I feel we could just say perhaps it needs a bit more concision.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a
Okay.
good way to put it. And
There we go.
I will take some concision and stop talking now.
All right, there we go.
No, those are good. If you have more points, please.
Not on concision. The rest of it I thought was pretty strong.
Okay, cool. Thank you,
All right.
guys. Yeah.
Other constructives.
So I heard you talking about being worried about the monologue before, and yeah, I was really surprised that worked for me better than I thought it was going to. And then I was really confused when the monologue in the unknown office matched the visuals of what was happening on screen. In that sort of transition to their day-to-day life, like that seemed very repetitive.
Yeah.
And personally, I prefer irony as a mode. So I like to see, like, you know, if you're going to go for like full on like reality with the interview crosscuts, do that. Likewise, if you've got someone saying their version of the story and then you show a very different characterization of reality happening, that's
Right.
fine too. And obviously, I don't know where you're going here. Aside from someone bursts out of a trash bag later. So, I mean, I was really hoping that Amy was lying in some way or mischaracterizing stuff, or was talking about something that wasn't going to be duplicated, like telling someone what they're seeing when they're seeing it. It is ballsy, but maybe not the most effective move if you're hoping someone else is trying to buy the script.
Yeah. These are great points. That's so true.
And it's been 10 pages, and I also don't really know where the story's going.
Yeah. Actually,
the
I have. It's been
inciting
a while.
incident hasn't happened yet, so that's probably
Yeah,
going to
I'm
happen in the
okay
next
with
couple
that
pages.
if, you know, you've gripped me and it's compelling. So yeah, that's definitely not
Yeah,
the
I
major
actually.
point
This
there.
is from like 2016, and I actually haven't reread it till today, and I was just like, oh fuck! It's like, thank God we stopped at page 10. By
At
the way,
least you
guys.
noticed that's the side that you've
Yeah.
developed as a writer.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I would just say formatting. I like that. I liked actually your story and where you went with it. I think Larry's just being a turd.
I am.
But
Yeah.
I will
I'm
say,
zoning.
you know,
I'm sorry.
next time, you know, give it a once over. You know, make sure like all the lines are actually where they're supposed to be. Beyond that, I enjoyed it thoroughly, so I've got nothing.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be Simon tonight on. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
just
terrible.
I'll be Randy Jackson.
Yeah,
I'll tell
yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
they're awesome.
Randy Jackson.
Moldy can be
clean
Paula.
up the formatting
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit
right.
when you bring it next week, because we'd love to see more about it.
No,
Yeah. Something happened in the transfer from.
Oh, man.
I used the script program, and transferring it to PDF messed it up a little bit. So yeah, I'll make sure.
Yeah, no, I can
Looking
totally
at
tell. Whatever you did when you, that's kind of obvious. So try it. There's, and we can talk offline about different software and how it works and all that. So.
Yes.
Obi, are you trying to get us taken down here or what? No.
All right.
I'm pretty sure YouTube's not going to be happy about that one, Moldy.
Yeah.
Supporting them.
It's legal here, but yeah.
Yeah, you're not Canadian, Dan.
Yeah.
You wish.
Oh, it's legal where I'm at now.
All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Danny,
Well,
tell
well,
us
yeah,
about Cult of.
It's really the Tom Preston, man.
So
Okay.
you guys might remember a few weeks ago, I brought this sort of fantasy story in progress with the working title "Reckless Child Endangerment," a comedy.
Right.
And there was an anthology that was open for pitches in March, doing like weird tales type stuff. So I decided to sort of write a full chapter 0 as a fairly Conan-esque short and submit that, which is what we got here.
Okay.
And I just found an illustrator for the project. She just signed on like the other day. So here is the self-contained short story in which Priviel gets the basket of baby generation, and let's see where it goes. So yeah, the only annoying thing is all of the very, very wordy single panel description on page 1.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of like describing
or
the
is it
fantasy.
a comic?
8-page comic.
It says panel 1, so. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Well, I mean, look, this is art direction. I give
Yeah,
20.
you have to do that sometimes.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Okay.
those pencilers, they're lazy.
They are.
if you don't tell them what to draw, they're going to draw nothing, and then they'll just ask for all right.
Yeah, $80,
And
please.
most
Yeah.
of the scene setting bullshit sort of disappears after here, hopefully, because it's one location.
Okay.
So
Do you want to read all that?
I'll read all that
All right, go.
because
okay, that's fair.
it's not fair to you guys. And then I'll just assign parts as we go. Except that John will be our hero, Priviel.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, page 1. One panel, exterior, narrow depths, Temple Valley, night. Priviel, Goblin Rogue, 20s, white skin, multicolored hair. Oin Cave Shaper, adolescent dwarf barbarian. And Samia, early 20s goblin monk, sneak over the crest of a hill overlooking the Temple of Zal, the broken valley below. They're all unarmed. A trail of human cultists wearing dark robes and carrying torches file into the temple from across the valley. Priviel's right thigh is bandaged up. That's in the wrong place. An entire paragraph of background that we don't care about. The creepy temple butts up against the cliff, obscuring a secret cave, featuring a 10-meter high oak tree planted upside down, roots up into the earth. The temple is surrounded by an enclosing wall made of 3-meter tall, offset, roughly split wooden planks that enclose it enough to hide the goings-on from casual onlookers and prevent a person from entering or exiting through anywhere but the entryway, but not enough to prevent the light inside from casting eerie shadows on the landscape. There's a clear path to the temple's entrance, but the path inside turns to follow the line of the perimeter, obscuring the view inside. Copy, title card, caption, the narrow depths. So we'll have John B. Priviel, and Skinny would be a good Oin. And then how about Perp? Can I get you to be Samia?
Yep.
Cool.
What is Oin?
Sorry?
He was
Dwarven
his
teenager.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dwarven. Oh, okay.
Oh god.
Sorry. Priviel, roguish, sort of country. Oin, teenage dwarf barbarian. Samia, sort of monkish. Like religious-y type.
Alright.
Or, Kwai Chang Kane type.
So,
That was a deep cut. Jesus. Sorry, guys.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I was about to say God bless you. Like,
Yeah.
Trivial.
All right, we ready?
Yes.
John.
That's
Yeah.
the Temple of Duzal. Looks like your usual mystery cult. You sure about all that treasure?
I am Privial. Rumors of their obscene rites have spread too far to ignore.
Oin speaks truly. I sense an accumulation of unbridled evil and strange magic here. It must be stopped.
At least it's not elves. I got a bad feeling about this, Samia.
Page 2, 5 panels. Panel 1, exterior valley path. The background, Priviel leads Oin and Samia down the rolling hills to sneak up on the three slow cultists in the foreground, making their way up to the temple, or down to the temple. Down, yes.
Onin and Samia found me in a tavern in East Flangok. Told me this fertility cult in the narrow depths had a huge stockpile of treasure. Oh, fertility cult? Can you say sign me up?
Yeah.
Begged me to help figure out what they were about.
Panel 2, the party ambushes the 3 straggling cultists. Samia knocks one out with a kung fu kick. Oin jumps on another's back to put him in a submission hold. Priviel knocks the 3rd cultist off of his feet with a flying tackle. Thwack. We want cultists. We don't need cultists. Gurgle. Oof. All right. Panel 3. Having stripped, bound, and gagged the 3 cultists, Priviel, Oin, and Samia put on their robes. Samia, the only fully dressed member of the party, pulls a small pouch out of a pocket of her robes with her left hand. The pouch bears the mark of Zal.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Priviel. They bring offerings.
Ooh, what kind?
Insert panel. Samia empties the pouch into her hand, revealing 2 shiny silver coins. From this angle, we can clearly see the mark of Zal on the pouch more clearly. That was repetitive. Yep.
Gold.
But you just said they were silver.
I totally did. which is why I'm going to fix that and why we're reading this aloud.
Oh my god.
I'll say it again. Look, gold.
There you go.
Panel 5. Taking up the end of the queue by a large margin, Priviel, Oin, and Samia stroll into the entryway to the temple below.
I counted at least 30 folks going in. Probably enough treasure here to buy them fitted armor or serious alchemy.
Be careful. I sense the resonance of magic beyond the walls.
All I want to know is how simple farmers could have so much treasure to spare.
Everything about this quest was cursed.
Page 3. Panel 1. Exterior-interior temple. Priviel, Oin, and Samia enter the temple and turn right after passing the entryway. The orientation of the walls gives them no other way to go. Okay, who wants to be a gang of cultists?
Moby.
I want to join the cult.
Okay, join the cult. Skinny, this is all you, man.
Oh no.
Okay. We rely upon you for our fertility, O Zal, and we rely on you for our fecundity. I'm sorry, I'm Southern. I have problems with big words. Seed our lands that we may repay you with the gift of blood.
It's some kind of death cult, isn't it?
Sadly, and yet no god called Zal exists in the monastery records.
By my beard, what are these farmers doing?
Panel 2. Priviel holds her left hand up, fist closed, to signal a stop. Oin and Samia stop behind her. With her right hand, she pulls out a blue potion of speed.
An invented god, a creepy temple, and blood sacrifice. Nothing sounded too unusual, but encountering magic is almost as bad as meeting elves.
Everybody hates elves. Panel 3, close up of the
Suck.
potion of speed in Priviel's hand. It's got a product label because apparently this is my gimmick for this frickin' project. Designed as if it were nutritional facts. Potion facts per one bottle: 2,500 calories, 0 grams of
That's a
fat.
lot.
Sorry?
That's a bunch.
I mean, you got to run around a
It's
lot.
speed.
Oh, it's speed. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
speed.
like you
It's
just
a violent-
burn it off.
I was just thinking, like, what if you quaff a few potions, you're gonna be putting on major pounds.
Yeah.
You're gonna burn
No
it off.
fat,
Like
no
the
carbs,
Flash.
a little bit of salt, 3 milligrams of mana, transmutation, 3 milligrams, 50% of your daily maximum requirement,
There we go.
contains licorice root. Not a significant source of nutrition. Open and drink immediately or as directed by your alchemist. Effects last approximately 30 minutes or 21.9 kilometers. May lead to weight loss, dry mouth, and heavy breathing. Side effects include tiredness, lethargy, unconsciousness, or delirium. Do not drink while bleeding. Warning, accelerates potion metabolism. Do not mix potions unless advised by your alchemist. Panel 4. Priviel goes to drink the potion, but Samia stops her.
Not until you know you need it. Your leg still needs that healing potion to repair itself.
Panel 5. Just barely around the corner, the party comes to an apparent dead end at a wall with an image of Zal painted on it. Zal looks like a bearded olive green Satan with a bearded face where his junk should be.
Oh, yeah.
I have a photo reference for this from a medieval
Nice.
manuscript, and it is comedy gold.
All right.
Nice.
Skinny, you're being cultist.
Zal.
Oh yeah, Zal. I
But you
don't like
also-
the sound of that.
Page 4. Panel 1, interior temple hallway. Big panel. The party stares in confusion at the image of Zal on the wall before them. Panel 2. Priviel steps forward, gently pushing Sammy out of the way, holding a silver coin out in her hand towards the lower mouth of the image.
Fertility cult. Predictable.
Panel 3. Priviel inserts the coin into the image's lower mouth. Clink. That's right. Panel 4. The wall shifts aside, allowing the party to pass through. Creak. And now we need a cult leader.
Moby.
Molby would be a
cult
good cult leader.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
got
that's
that
Molby right there.
Southern
Yes.
Baptist voice.
My son. Oh, the line's right there.
Yep. Thank
Thank
you.
you all for joining us.
And then the other big panel on the page, interior of the temple. The party pull their hoods up and file into the circle of cultists, observing the firelit ritual. The flames cast a long shadow of the cult leader, human male 50s, wearing a loincloth and a carved wooden mask of the head of Zal, onto the wooden wall behind them as he raises his arms to pontificate.
Through the sacrifice of blood, the Zal makes us thrive, my son.
Thrive.
Right.
Yes.
He's promoting cults on the street.
I'm totally promoting cults.
Definitely.
Because I do terrible things. Page 5, panel 1. Over Priviel's shoulder, the cult leader, who bears the mark of Zal painted on his chest, gives his sermon before a sacrificial altar, upon which a baby lies on a white cloth beside the upside-down tree, backlit by the ceremonial fire. More hooded cultists line the background. Behind the tree is the opening to a small cliffside cave.
I just want to say to John, I'm not the worst writer when it comes to abusing kids now. Danny
This
is one.
project is called Reckless Child Endangerment, Volby.
Danny is taking the crown of Child Abuser 2021.
All right.
Okay.
The
I
Zal
will do
gives and in return asks for only a portion of our body, of our bounty and riches. Shall we deny him when what we sacrifice costs so little? The Zal blesses us with his bounty. He lifts us from substance and asks only that we thank him. Hell, the Zal, hell working.
Ale.
Panel 2. Reverse shot, recalling page 4, panel 5. Priviel, Oin, and Samuel look on as the silhouette raises an ornately curved sacrificial dagger and prepares to kill the baby, make it look creepy.
No.
Resurrection.
And then they tried to murder a baby.
Very coded-esque description there, I know.
Yeah.
Panel
Well,
3.
that's the narrator. He's not there
Oh, I
actually
know.
speaking loud, so.
Panel 3. The cult leader twists around, throwing his dagger into Oin's neck. Samia gasps in shock.
We have a
Cult leader.
Molby.
cult leader.
I just saw loud.
Yeah. It's
Infidels, stop them.
Oin?
Panel 4. Priviel and Samia assume back-to-back fighting stances, having thrown their cloaks into the air. The cultists surrounding them advance threateningly. Priviel gets into a low stance, ready to brawl and wrestle, holding the sacrificial dagger that killed Oin in her right hand. As a monk, Samia is in a Shaolin Kung Fu stance.
You think this is a question of belief and not about right and wrong? You deserve the beatdown that's coming.
You sacrifice children for monetary gain? This injustice shall not go unavenged.
Get them.
Page 6. Priviel and Samia rush into the crowd, slashing and brawling with cultists left and right.
Yeah!
Everyone has the dagger. Get her.
there we go.
Yeah.
Panel 2. 3 cultists attack Priviel. She uses the dagger to slash the neck of one holding a torch, but one manages to jump on her back while the other kicks at her injured leg.
My leg again?
Panel 3. Samia rushes in with her kung fu to protect Priviel, throwing one of the cultists into the torchbearer who was slashed. As the torchbearer flies into the dry wooden encircling wall, it catches fire.
Priv, we're trapped. Drink your potion.
Panel 4. Priviel quaffs her potion of haste as Samia intercepts a flying knee strike from the cult leader who's now joined the fight.
Fools, you've ruined everything. The Zal curses all who oppose his hunger.
Are you Are you to debauch? Wait, are you to debauch? What is that word? Debauch?
Debauch.
Debauched.
Yeah.
Debauch.
Are you too debauched to see the pain you cause? Burn your temple.
Okay.
Panel 5. Samuel lands a rising jump kick on the cult leader's chin, knocking his mask off. More description of him. Gray hair, bags around his eyes, wrinkled with corruption. So, yeah.
Ah,
The leader's face told me there was a dark magic at work.
oh,
He didn't look evil. He looked exhausted.
that sounded like you offered me broccoli at a chicken shack.
There you go.
Do you not like broccoli? 'Cause I swear I saw a baggie of it you were trying to show us earlier.
Hey,
Yeah.
dare disrespect the legal drugs that are possessed.
All right.
Page 7. Sammy is brawling with the cult leader. Priviel, moving so fast it looks like she's 5 places at once under the effects of her potion, attacks 5 cultists as the flames begin to engulf the walls.
Go! I've got this one.
Panel 2, insert. A black-robed hand picks up the sacrificial dagger.
Privio, the dagger.
Oh yeah.
Panel 3, as the flames continue to rise and spread onto the upside-down tree at the center of the temple, and most of the cult is unconscious or fleeing, the cultist with the dagger rushes towards the baby to kill it.
Uh-oh.
The baby.
Joe, forgive us. Or yeah, forgive us.
Yeah.
Zao.
Panel 4, fast as thought, Priviel snatches the baby from the altar just as the cultist brings the dagger down into the wood below. In the background, Sammy and the cult leader have stopped to stare.
Don't you dare kill this baby!
The curse. You don't understand.
And that curse. Why would a death cult be afraid of some curse?
Panel 5, holding the baby in one arm, Priviel takes advantage of her speed to slam the stabby cultist's head into the altar. Slam. Panel 6, and then throws the dagger straight into the cult leader's chest.
Yeah!
Page 8. Close-up of the cult leader as he dies, suddenly looking deeply grateful for the favor they didn't know they did for him. Priviel and Samia kneel over him.
Thank you.
You read that perfectly, Volby. Thank
There
you.
Huh? When their
That is-
leader thanked me for killing him, I thought there was nothing left to fear.
Panel 2. Priviel stands, smiling, punch-drunk, holding the baby. The flames have engulfed the upside-down tree. Samia reaches out in concern.
Privio?
Panel 3. Priviel passes out, falling down on her back. Thump. Panel 4. Interior, cliffside cave. Day. Priviel, now heavily bandaged, inside the cliffside cave, beside the burnt-out wreck of the temple, stuffs a pile of golden gems into a baby basket, under which is painted the mark of Zal. Behind her, Samia smiles, holding the baby on her hip.
There were no survivors. I took the treasure. Samia brought the kid back to her monastery.
Panel 5. Priviel, still bandaged. Okay, that was an editing mistake. On her way down her lonely road home, carrying the cursed baby basket with the mark of Zal visible on the bottom. Samia, carrying the baby, goes the other way.
I asked along the way. Nobody knew anything about a lost child. So where'd the baby come from? A week later, I found out. I brought the curse home. The baby's come from the basket, and I don't know how to get rid of it.
The end.
All right. It's pretty good. You know, I like it. We got people sneaking into Cult of the Dead with a baby sacrifice. It's heroically stopped at the use of magic and fisticuffs and kung fu and daggers and a twist ending. So, Perp.
Yeah, I really liked the imagery. Like, you just didn't do a cave. I love the idea of an upside down tree. That's really cool. I love because I just picture how the roots branch out and all that. Really, really enjoyed the twist that these babies needed to be sacrificed. It looks like it seems like that's where you're going, and I really look forward to see where you take this. Or is this the end? Is it, oh, you're right. You said that this was like a 10-page
Yeah.
like.
This is
Oh,
chapter
okay.
0.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So you're gonna write more? I'm sorry.
I've already written more. We read more on the stream like a month or two ago. I've written, that's chapter 1, introducing the second protagonist and sort
Sure.
of jamming them together. They fight a bunch of ninjas dressed like Bruce Lee.
There you go.
Nice.
Because of course that's a thing that exists. I'm trying to make it weird.
Sure.
John.
Weird is good. It's a cute little story. It definitely fits in your world, so good on that. Nice contained little story arc. Doesn't need to be any more complicated than it is, so it works in that. Yeah, I mean, as an 8-page short, you can't really go wrong.
What'd you find?
You definitely did your research on baby sacrifices.
That's right. Yeah.
Skinny.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part. It was interesting. It was some fun banter. I always like cultists. You've read my book. I enjoy using cultists,
You do.
and it's nice to see that. I think my favorite part was how Privio just kind of nonchalantly is like, and then they tried to kill a baby. Like, it happens every day. I don't know that. I really like that part. I just got to make note of it. I thought that was just leave that line just as it is. Do not change it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Larry.
That's it.
Yeah. Definitely a fun story. It's a little lighthearted, even though the subject matter is a little dark. But yeah, it's pretty fun. It's very concise and tight, which is nice.
Come
10
on,
pages. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Moby's
Can't
in.
speak to anywhere.
I know. Yeah. He's got the drugs out, but anyway,
He's supposed to be pooping.
he was. Yeah. He had a really quick one, but anyway,
All right.
back to the
Moby,
story.
Don't make me tell your mother.
Exactly. All right, Larry.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a nice little issue 0, as you called it. So yeah, it'll work. It will work really well in conjunction with your other story. So.
All right, Moby.
Man, to me, man, it was fast. It was fun. Felt like an Indiana Jones, but on a fantasy level. You know, fast action, punching. You know, discovery, cults. Solid, man. Very solid. Yeah.
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 You know what I'm saying? And you freed me, man. I'm now the cleanest man on this stream. I have sinned the least.
Well, the difference here is Danny has the child abuse being done by the villains who are being opposed by the heroes.
Yes, that is true.
That's like
Now-
a different.
Wait,
You had it done.
And it's somewhat important.
Yes. The bad guys are okay doing. We expect bad guys to do bad things, Mulby.
Right. Yeah.
I
You
can't
have the
I
good
just-
guy doing bad
no,
things.
wait a
I
second.
cannot get away with anything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All
I
right,
mean, if it
construction-
involves your heroes killing babies, no.
Yeah.
No. It's a
All
long
right,
story.
construction
Yeah, it's a long
notes.
story. We'll tell you later.
Hmm.
Okay,
Please.
my main, my biggest constructive would be on the art design for the last page. I think because the baby making basket is the punchline to the joke, and I feel like you have that in dialogue, narration, and one tiny little panel that doesn't show us a darn thing. And that, I think your 8th page is the punchline. That should be it should be a splash page. We should see the babies popping out of this basket, or we should see, even if it doesn't actually exist in real life, in the universe, like it could be some, just make it up, but like maybe have Privial there surrounded by a bunch of babies and the baskets just overflowing. It's something big and loud that tells us, that shows us what it is, and that's what your last page should be focused on. And I feel like we had so much cool visual action with the fights and the sneaking into the death cult cave, and all of that was cool and all, but none of that is, in my opinion, is as important as making that punchline land. And I feel like that doesn't land in the art direction that you currently have.
Thank you. That's very noted. I realized as we were reading it today that that page is really busy.
Yeah, it's just going to get lost, and you got the other person, Samuel's walking off in the other direction, and it's just to me it doesn't work, but I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Any other constructives?
The only thing I would say is because you had the cult leader thank him, I think you probably need like a illustration where maybe he's got an affliction on his face or some type of thing where he's showcasing pain or something, like to give him a warning that there's something.
I don't think it was the pain. I think he actually did that when he said that he wasn't evil. He was tired.
Yeah.
It's almost like he is just as much a victim of the cult as everybody else.
Right.
That was what I was going for. Like, I was trying to suggest but not say he invented a Satan to get rid of these damn babies.
Yeah.
I mean, Danny is promoting.
I didn't quite see that, but I did kind of see more of a sympathetic villain type, and I think that kind of worked.
No, like some type of, burn on his face or something where an energy discharge, you don't want to tell, you want to show.
Right.
Like if he's holding his face when he gives orders or something, some sign that tells you something's wrong with him,
Where is, no, I'm not even going to say it.
I don't have really, it's not really a critique, but I really liked what you did with the potion, like the way that's done. It almost felt like a medieval Paul Verhoeven, like RoboCop commercial. Like, I kind of want, I guess if there, like if you could do more of that, that'd be really cool.
He does.
He does.
Okay,
yeah.
it's a running gag in the real
great.
Story.
It's like one of the best running gags I've seen in a while.
That's awesome. That's
awesome.
Yeah, in a little short one shot like this, you can't spend it all. You got to hint to all your bigger jokes. You can't spend the whole time doing with it. But
I don't know about that. That's a pretty funny joke. Yeah,
that joke has a lot of legs, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it totally does. Yeah, but you don't want to burn them all in an 8-page short.
Wow. One.
Well, yeah, you do one just like you did. It's fine. It's perfect.
All right. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
What?
Oh, I have been corrupted by the American writing stream.
Yes.
What?
There was an internal chat note about saying Danny's being corrupted by all the Americans on the writing stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the maple syrup has been stripped from his veins and blah blah blah.
You also have Larry.
I know.
Larry's already corrupted.
I was corrupted like 15 shows ago. I was corrupted.
Right.
I think
when Larry offered me barbecue sauce instead of maple syrup, something was wrong.
Thanks for all your feedback, guys.
God. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Tell us about the Preston Knights.
Well, man, this is the Preston Knights book. Probably the most controversial book in CG.
I love this book.
What the hell?
There are high odds.
Most controversial.
Hey man, there are high odds that some people's names will be mentioned on this book, and there's a high chance that there's gonna be live streams about this and us being attacked.
Yeah. So you want to start at page 11, right?
Yeah,
because we already read
11. All right, let me move down.
I hope Steve's still in the chat.
He better be. Yeah.
Big Steve.
Page 8.
Pay attention.
Pay attention to this because this gets really good.
Page 10.
Yeah.
Page 11.
All right.
Who's narrating?
Well, Preston, the new, forget my man's name,
Okay.
the new guy. You could be the narrator.
Okay.
The
And,
new guy.
right.
I'll give the other scenes as they go.
Okay, Big
all
Steve
right,
Syria.
Big Steve. There we go.
So King Preston seems very upset with his hand under his chin, as
Oh.
Lord Larry pats him on the back and Queen Alice watches with discomfort, while Dark Gifts has what appears to be a smirk. Dark Grift, sorry.
Yeah.
That's a very important word. Okay. Dark Grift has what appears to be a smirk on his face, as John Saint Lamont can be seen placing multiple paintings on the floor.
There we go.
Larry, take
Yeah,
your
yeah,
part,
yeah. Don't worry, we'll find some suitable entertainment, Preston.
I just don't understand how it started well and ended with such shame.
Okay, yeah, but what does King Preston say?
Yeah. All right.
John?
Oh my God. My king, you have to bear witness to this.
So, panel 2, King Preston seems confused standing beside Lord Larry and St. John Lamont over the painting laid on the floor.
Exactly what are we looking at, St. John?
Why, my king? This is a reflection of moments appearing
shit.
after the present.
That is another example of your fine taste in fetishes.
God, why do I choose the wrong characters every time?
All right, page 12. Panel 1, it's a splash page. A view of the painting on the floor made of multiple paintings. It's of a silhouette of a black naked man holding a sword and shield with a mile-long dick. Yeah. The tip of his dick almost makes it to the finishing, where King Preston is standing with what appears to be a kingdom burning behind him. Oh, damn. Running on top of the penis are frogs. One is leaping right off of the tip of the penis towards King Preston.
There we go.
Wow.
We knew it was coming, but it's still so fucking fun.
Dude, my girlfriend's listening to this.
Probably not for long. And,
Yeah.
I mean, probably she's not your girlfriend for long.
Yeah.
As you can see, the kingdom will be in great peril. Ampersand, that fellow with the dick of the mile-length variety.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Prestonite.
Panel
Yeah.
1. Biggest Steve kicks the door open to enter with a leather bag in hand.
Oh, you would take this skinny man, my man Thinny on me.
All right. King Preston, we have some hive and pigeon shit, falling shit issues.
Panel number 2. King Preston is still standing beside Lord Larry and John St. Lamont as they stare towards the painting, as Big as Steve walks towards them.
Something about seeing a dick this long just makes you realize how small you are.
Can't say even most well-formed steeds are as hung as the fellow on this canvas.
To think I thought my dick would never be on canvas. Nice work, St. John.
Is this me, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Glad someone
sure.
understands my artistic vision.
There you go.
Panel number 3 shows Queen Alice as she walks off beside her dark griffin.
You could take these parts, John. You could take these parts.
I'll be heading to my chambers to warm up my mouth for you, my king.
I just want to say, I want to give a note. Queen Alice would never say that.
Yeah, well.
Don't delete that line.
All right.
But she does have a dark griffin.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll follow suit and call it a day, King Preston.
There you go.
Name of book issue. Biggest Steve passes King Preston the leather bag over the painting as Lord Larry stares along with John St. Lamont. Panel 5 is King Preston is holding the open leather bag on one hand and faces the Crocker head towards Croker. Sorry, faces the Croker head towards the ceiling with the other hand as Lord Larry, John St. Lamont, watch in total disbelief as Biggest Steve appears calm.
By hell, a croaker's head.
Then the painting has meaning beyond a fetish for a mile-long black cock, after all.
I don't paint fetishes. I paint fortunes. When will you put some respect on my name?
When the dicks on your paintings can't cross the road, Lamont.
No time for such conversations. To the maple tree of life. Though support the meaning of the painting, or though I support the meaning of the painting, I have come to learn that 2 fortune readings are better than relying solely on one.
There you go.
All right, page 14, panel 1. In a private forest, King Preston, Lord Larry, John St. Lamont, and Biggest Steve are seated on a wooded bleacher facing a maple tree as Danny Daniel walks a camel towards that maple tree.
John, you could take the damn.
I don't think that's. Oh my.
Daddy, I do represent you, man.
Been a while since I've seen this ritual.
Rarely is it required, Biggest Steve.
Panel number 2, Danny Daniel stands beside the camel, pets his head, behind him, a maple tree.
To find what lies beyond what I'd known before us, we shall perform the hump of fortune. May this come on. May this camel humping lead to a message worth celebrating from the future rather than cowering for fear or torment.
All right, I want to look my girlfriend in the eyes when I say this. The camel humps the maple tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Leaves. It does it so hard that the leaves are falling from a camel humping that maple tree.
Yeah.
Panel 4, Danny is on his knees with a bowl beside the maple tree to collect the syrup that gushes out of the tree and into the bowl. As the camel continues humping that tree from behind. Now we have panel 5.
Wait, the tree has a behind?
From behind. No, as the camel humps the tree from behind. He's
Yeah.
taking the tree from behind.
Yeah.
Camel style.
Perhaps in the background.
That's a funny image, dude. Danny holds the bowl before King Preston, Lord Larry, Biggest Steve, and John St. Lamont.
Dip your hand and taste the syrup. If set majority of your recall nightmares rather than visions of joy, then truly shall Prestonia face an age of suffering.
There you go.
Panel number 1. Lord Larry is surrounded by 4 7-foot-tall hairy asses with even hairier legs, armed with a broom. Panel number 2.
I got that reference.
When you say hairy asses, are you talking about like donkeys or like assholes? Like
This hairy ass is like Assy McGee. You know?
oh, okay. Okay, so panel number 2's John St. Lamont is nailed to a cross. John St. Lamont is nailed to a cross in with 4 nuns that are naked holding a
Put some
torch.
respect on my name. There we go.
Yeah.
That are these 4 nuns that are naked holding a torch prepared to burn him alive.
Burned by fucking nude bitching nuns while nailed to a fucking cross. This is how you make a sacrifice, Jesus.
Oh man. Name a book issue. Okay. Biggest Steve is naked with his hands up, looks upward as a giant female ass is heading towards him with a smile on his face.
Death by a meteor-sized sexy ass. No other way to die hard.
There you go.
All right, so panel number 1, splash page. So King Preston is on his knees before his kingdom, which is in flames, very injured as the Preston Knights fight a horde of croakers. A giant bullfrog-shaped Ethan Van Skyler fires its tongue right towards Preston.
Uh-oh.
And yep, it's getting real. Okay, so
Real.
Man, you
Page
could
16.
be Dean John. And,
Oh, jeez.
Ethan, you could be Danny, man.
all right, so in the page 16, panel 1, deep within a cave, completely naked, Ethan Van Skyler has his legs in a split above a waterfall, Van Damme style, and each arm tied to a separate stone facing Dean, who speaks. Dean is seated on a rock made throne. Beside him, Vicky Da.
Oh.
You seem rather high up, Mr. Ethan Van Skyler.
Whatever you think I did, it was a joke.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
This is your moment, Mr. Ethan Van Skyler. Shall you take this offer, or will you return to the failure that plagues you?
Please, I'll do anything. I've done it before.
In panel 2, Dean who speaks is stands,
Yes. Yeah.
Stands points directly at Ethan Van Skyler as Vicky Da appears bored as she holds a frog.
Take Nikita away.
Mr. Ethan Van Skyler, I'm offering you a chance, one that arrives once in a lifetime. I can end your misery as a jester, so shall you take up my offer?
Sure. Just set me free first.
Panel number 3, Vicky Da has her hands up as she is right below the waterfall.
You can read that, Preston. It's only right.
Oh,
Enter
God.
through the rear to unleash the foe that shall end a foolish King Preston and his Prestonites.
All right, panel number 4, hundreds of tadpoles are rising from the water below. In page 17, panel 1, hundreds of tadpoles fly from below towards Ethan's ass from below. And then panel 2, Ethan screams as the tadpoles fly directly into his ass. Panel number 3, it keeps going. Panel number 3, Ethan vomits towards the sky. So he gets like a fountain towards the sky from the pain. And panel number 4, Dean, who speaks, claps as more tadpoles fly towards Ethan's ass, who vomits with Vicky Da filled with a smile.
Through his ass will forge a path forward that shall cause Preston to fall.
Okay.
All right.
Is that
You
it?
all thought my scripts
no.
went over the line.
No, I believe this is only page 19 or something.
Yeah, we're on
Okay.
18.
18, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so panel number 1, War Room, Roundtable. Royal Preston Knight Moby and Biggest Steve are seated along with Lord Larry.
All right, I'll take that part. Now my question is, why are we here this early? Before I could even let one of my harems to use their hands to lessen the morning wood.
We have but a few months before the kingdom faces a threat that we can very well end our entire way of life.
Well, that would be you, John.
No, it was
Look, Moby,
Skinny, wasn't
we
it?
had some
That's Skinny,
fucked up
Skinny.
visions that I had to get sucked out of me. Took 9 blowjobs just for me to close my eyes.
Panel number 2, King Preston stands and pounds the table as Moby appears confused as Biggest Steve lights a blunt.
There we go.
Now, you two, as my royal Prestonites, how many knights do we have prepared to defend the kingdom?
By my account, ask Moby. He usually keeps up with that.
Panel number 3, Darth Lunga is walking with many women chained to him towards the forest. Wow.
Oh,
Where's
God.
Darth Lunga these days?
Well, after the Isadora situation where Darth Lunga chained most women in the town and walked off Prestonia, we haven't seen him since.
All right. It's page 19, panel 1, the largest panel. Sir Savage is running with wolves holding a naked fat woman.
What of Sir Savage?
Take that, Skinny.
Yay.
Last I saw Sir Savage, he was walking with wolves holding a hippo bikini bear built fat ass bitch.
All right, panel number 2. King Preston has his head down on the table in confusion as Moby and Biggest Steve, with a blunt in his mouth still lit, pat him on the back.
By God, the kingdom truly is in peril.
Don't fret this shit, my king. This is some big dick issues, and we have the size to solve this shit.
Biggest facts.
Biggest facts. That's good. Panel number 1. Lord Larry stands up with his hands up as King Preston, Biggest Steve, and Moby watch in shock.
Let's host a tryout for the Preston Knights.
Shit, that might just work.
Panel number 2, Preston Knights training camp, lined up over 100 male villagers of ages 13 to 40s, standing on a wooden podium, Moby and Biggest Steve.
John, you can read that one. Read the Biggest Steve.
It takes a big dick to be a fucking Preston Knight, because you have to be hired no matter how much life wants to stick a middle finger up your ass until you can smell it through your nose.
Yeah, we're setting down some serious rules.
Yeah.
So panel number 3, Moby is
Yeah,
pointing
for 13-year-olds?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
medieval
dude, you got
times.
problems.
It wouldn't be Moby if it didn't have some children.
Child abuse.
Moby's got some serious problems.
So Moby, in panel number 3, Moby is pointing towards the mass group of villagers.
I see some pig shit smell fuckers amongst you. Fuck, I can tell that barely one of you has heard the sound of another man shitting himself after taking his last breath.
Panel number 4. Panel number 4. Moby aims towards the sky as Biggest Steve lights a blunt.
Those of you worthy of becoming Preston Knights will leave a legacy that will be marked in the clouds above, because we Preston Knights only fear one thing in this world.
What is that we fear?
Panel 5. Moby is performing a suck it symbol by pointing towards his privates.
The only fear we Preston Knights have is not having some nuts to unload in bitches' mouths.
Okay. Press.
Yes.
I suggest we continue going with this one, because there's some good parts later on. But
10 pages.
Okay, we'll save it for next week.
10 pages.
Yeah.
Gives him time to finally tune it all.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we're going to jail now, man.
You haven't seen a lot of Moby scripts, Perp. He doesn't finally tune shit.
And I think he might not need to, actually.
No.
All right. Well, you had us all very entertained. Of course, you know it's basically like the characters from the writer's stream in the Discord. But all right, Perp. What did you think?
I mean, yeah, I don't know any of the inside jokes or anything like that. I don't know. I know a couple of things here or there, but I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Okay.
There's a lot. It's a mix of witty dialogue and great hilarious visuals, and the camel humping a tree scene, like mwah, chef's kiss. Come on,
Yeah.
that was great. That was really entertaining. Seriously.
Yeah. All right, John.
Yeah, it was. As always, your writing is hilarious. I don't know where you come up with this stuff, and I am truly jealous. I wish I had 10% of that comedic talent. Yeah, it's just hilarious all the way through. Your caricatures are great. Yeah. Can't really speak much more on that.
Skinny.
Yeah, I loved it. Every single moment of this. I want to see this book, Moby. You have to, especially the camel humping the tree. Like, you would think I would be sitting here and saving, like, it should be a moose instead. That would make more sense. But the fact that you made it a camel is so outlandish and just batshit out of nowhere that it's perfect.
Oh man, put 10 out of 10 for the longest.
Yeah, that too, man. Like,
Oh shit.
Is camel supposed to mean something? Is there a joke for the camel?
Yes, I agree. The longest scene was my favorite too.
Yeah.
yeah, just seriously, man, just it's perfection.
Yeah.
That
Oh man.
And
Dan,
there seems to be there seems to be good magic continuity too, from the tadpoles to the frogs, or am I confusing with the other one? Sorry. Oh shit.
No,
no,
Like,
I think
There's
you're right.
something-
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That was cool. So you have some magical continuity stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's well thought out. It's not just the most absurd thing. You kind of make it work, and you keep going with it. I loved it.
All right, Danny.
As usual, I don't get any of the in joke,
Right.
and that was some batshit crazy gonzo bullshit. So pat yourself on the back there, brother.
And apparently you made the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, wait, was that supposed to be me? How am I
Yeah.
into it?
Hey man,
Why am I in
Danny,
you're the man who's in charge of training camels to fuck trees.
I mean, sure, I guess.
I mean, there are worse jobs in there. Trust me. Yeah.
There are worse jobs in there, and they normally involve butts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could be painting giant dicks with a paintbrush made out of a clitoris.
I mean, that's like at least 10%. Come on.
Yeah.
Still don't know how a paintbrush works.
I'm not denying it. I'm just
I can't wait for the scenes with Vicky.
All right, constructives.
Preston's going to get some hate for real.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Vicky was doing anything all that bad. She seemed to be.
Well, she was just doing her Vicky stuff, right? Standing there talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making
Making her commentary.
Letting her comments be known, So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Now-
comedy like this, it needs to have an element of truth to it. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
You got to get the caricatures down, and you can know the people well enough. You can make it work, and
So you may have to alter the Queen Alice scene, but that's about it. Anyway, according to Preston, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's true. Yes. She's at. It's not Vicky unless she's asking for the manager, right? So it's like, yeah.
Is it bad that I'm genuinely confused as to why you even bother to write scripts? Like, you should just produce these things and then surprise us with that.
There you go.
That would be pretty funny, but
Well,
it's always a treat to read, though.
Oh,
So,
hopefully the notes we give him benefit him in some way.
yeah.
yeah, that would my only constructive is to it's like I don't know if you'd ever actually do this, because who outside of the handful of people here would actually, invest in it.
Well,
I think he got. How many backers did you get on Temptations?
I got a 40, but I'm gonna get this one. I'm gonna have some pages, from an artist soon. Man.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he can probably get more than 40.
I thought
so.
your concept art was a lot better for this book too. so than
Yeah.
it was for Simtation. But yeah,
Yeah.
It actually looks pretty
We'll see.
neat.
It's going to be an interesting experiment. Okay, Demonatrix. So Prep, is your girlfriend still liking stuff? Is that going well? Because we're about to go to
Yeah,
Demonatrix.
Demon Matrix. Okay, yeah, I'll
know.
prepare. Okay, we're gonna do
Okay.
Demon
I
Matrix.
don't think
Okay.
it's that bad this time, but
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Well, at least John, like, he knows what real Gonzo stuff looks like now. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, like, next week, I guess.
Okay, so John,
yes.
what do we have? What's going on?
Okay, so I took some of your feedback and I rewrote some. We little background. We were in the middle of episode 5, so based on some of the feedback, I went back in time and I rewrote some stuff in issue 2. So for those of you that are new or don't know, I'll give you a mild refresher. So after Emmy summoned the demon killed her father. She was put away into a mental hospital. The demon left her and then came back and basically broke her out of the hospital. So this picks up after she breaks her out of the hospital. This is the first time where they're actually having a conversation, and this conversation I made some changes, and we'll see kind of how it plays to see if it'll change the dynamic of their relationship a little bit to see if it works better than what I had set up previously. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back in issue 1 then.
no, this is issue 2 because technically
okay.
issue 1 is already done and produced and on the market. So I don't want to. I'm going to try not to.
It certainly got
too
a
much.
lot of attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn right, man.
So, so yeah, we're starting at page 7. This is, as I said, this is issue 2, and they just got out of the mental hospital.
Okay. Who's narrating?
We'll have the usual suspects start, and then we'll figure it out as we go.
Okay.
I don't know who that is. Is that me?
I think that means me, but
okay, Larry.
I think I'm narrating.
Oh yeah,
Larry.
I'm Emma, of course. Right.
Yes. Or Emmy.
Emmy,
Yes.
Emma.
All right. Exterior parking garage day. Emmy parks on the roof away from other vehicles. Interior SUV shutting off the engine. Emmy leans back. Her eyes click to normal. Emmy looks around and panics.
What the fuck? Where am I?
Hey, it's me.
Emmy smacks herself on the side of the head.
No, you're not real. You're not real.
Lolita passes out of Emmy, appearing in the nude human form sitting in the passenger seat. Emmy jumps, seeing her.
What the fuck?
Hey, just me.
Emmy closes her eyes.
I'm losing my mind. I'm not really here. I'm still in the hospital.
You're not in the hospital, sweetie.
Emmy opens her eyes.
How did I get here?
Duh, I borrowed your body and busted you out.
Emmy looks around, looks back at Lolita. She's reaching out, touching her shoulder.
Oh my god, you're real. You're the voice in my head. How are you sitting there? And why are you naked?
Because this isn't some PG-13 Disney flick to appease super Puritan mommy and daddy. Seriously. What kind of magic fabric are the Hulk's shorts made out of?
What do you want with me?
Look, immaterial things need to stay in the immaterial world. Material things in the material one. One of grandfather's stupid inconveniences, I stay out of my vessel for more than 72 Earth hours, I die.
And you go to hell?
No, die. As in, cease to exist? Return to the ether? Neither that or returning to hell interest me.
Fine. Just go haunt someone else.
Sweetie, I'm a demon, not a ghost. I don't haunt. I possess.
For some reason, I'm feeling like I'm...
Mhm.
Go possess someone else then.
Can't. For me to remain on the material plane, I need a possessee. That requires a compatible vessel. You. So suck it up, Buttercup.
And what if I say no?
Listen, we can either Jekyll and Hyde this,
Lolita leans into Emmy.
or I can drug you out of your gourd and ride that little body of yours hard until it burns out.
Lolita sits back and takes a breath.
So what? Now I'm stuck with you?
Don't think of it as being stuck. Think of me as your new best friend. We'll go everywhere together. We'll do everything together.
Fuck you.
Lolita passes back into Emmy.
I gotta get you some clothes, or I got you some clothes and things. They're in the back.
Emmy reaches back, pulling up the bag.
I'm not wearing that.
Well, you can't keep wearing that hospital gown. That's just embarrassing.
Emmy rolls her eyes, gets out of the vehicle. Interior dank bathroom day. Emmy stands wearing nude. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Staring at herself in the mirror. Her hair is wet down to at the shoulders. Emmy looks over at the bag sitting on the toilet beside her.
Fuck it.
Fuck it indeed.
They
Exterior.
rely on me for the deep thoughts.
Yeah. Exterior city street day. Emmy walks down the street dressed in a tank top and miniskirt.
The least you could have done was gotten me some panties.
Hey, fresh air is healthy.
As Emmy approaches the intersection, church bells can be heard ringing in the background. Emmy crosses the street approaching the sound. Exterior Serenity Valley Cathedral. Emmy heads up the path towards the church.
What are you doing?
I'm going to church to pray for my soul.
You can't go in there.
Emmy stops halfway to the door.
What? Afraid it's going to exorcise you?
Look, sanctified zones ooze holy auras. My black soul will stick out like an evil beacon to the angels.
I don't care.
You practice demonology. You committed abominable sin. There is no forgiveness. They will find you and they will kill you.
That's what I just. Maybe that's what I deserve.
Emmy steps forward. Her eyes click black.
Sorry.
Assuming that's a Lolita line?
Oh yeah.
It's Lolita speaking through Emmy.
Uh,
When her eyes are black,
Sorry,
she's in
sweetie.
possession mode.
Not gonna happen.
Interior strip club dressing room night. Emmy snorts a line of cocaine.
Woo! All
Yeah.
right.
There we go. Yeah. Main stage. Emmy wearing blue contacts dances on the stage, peeling each article of clothing off and cheering to the crowds. She grabs the pole, spins, flips like a pro who's done this thousands of times before.
Take it off.
In the back, Harold, mid-40s, nurses his drink. He smiles, turning to Carlos, the club proprietor, serving drinks. He passes him some cash, points at Emmy. Carlos nods. VIP room. Emmy leads Harold to a small room by the hand, playfully pushing him onto a posh couch. A waitress in a skimpy thong hands him a fresh drink, taking the empty glass. As she turns to leave, Harold grabs her ass, giving it a squeeze. Emmy leads into Harold, turns and rubbing her bum against his crotch. She puts his hands around her, grabbing her breasts. Emmy turns.
For getting a slap, are we?
Step.
Step, whatever.
Yes.
Maybe we can slap
Harold-
I mean, I figured Emmy was inviting a slap, but all right.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
Harold-
we got booty and crap.
Yeah. I get where you were going with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harold grabs her bras, pulling it off. Emmy leads back, holding out her hand.
Skinny, you want to do Harold?
Of course.
Yeah, I'll
And-
do Harold though.
And Mulby, do you want to do Carlos?
Sure. No
right.
problem. No problemo.
All right, go ahead, Skinny.
Already paid Carlos for you.
Really? He didn't mention that.
Then you better talk to him about that.
I will.
Amy turns to leave. Carlos grabs her
Nope, Harold.
arm.
Him
Oh,
too.
Harold grabs his arm. Sorry.
That should be her
First,
arm, but
Oh, okay.
I get
really
what I
confused.
paid for.
Sweetie, let me find out how much you paid, then I decide what you paid for.
Harold slaps Emmy, dropping to the floor, face down.
You and Boss can bitch about it later.
Harold kneels down, pulling off Emmy's panties. Emmy reaches around, grabbing his collar, pulling him to the side, banging his head into the table, cracking his skull, and knocking him unconscious.
Ugh.
Interior, strip club, men's room. Carlos walks from the urinal to the sink to wash his hands. The door slams as Emmy enters, walking towards him.
What the fuck was that?
Carlos looks up at her.
Done already.
I like how this little setup you got here. It works. The aura mask's my own, which is all I really need. But I'm not some sex doll you can rent out to whoever you like.
Uh-huh.
That's exactly what you are.
Make me a partner or I'll find someone else.
Carlos grabs Emmy by the neck, pinning her to the wall.
Listen here, you little skink. This is my house. Here, I'm in charge. Here, I'm God. And you will bow down and worship me and anyone I send towards you. You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah. Emmy laughs, reaching up. She removes her blue contacts, revealing her black eyes underneath.
Ha 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 ha! I met God, not a fan.
Emmy punches Emmy punches Carlos in the throat, causing him to cough blood. He backs up, wheezing.
You are not God.
Emmy punches him in the side, cracking a rib.
You are nothing but an ant to me.
Emmy throws Carlos to the ground.
An ant, and I'm about to step on.
Carlos' point of view, Emmy raises her foot to bring down on Carlos. Cut to black. Interior strip club, manager's office day. Emmy, with normal eyes, bolts awake, finding herself splayed out on the floor. She wears the same outfit previously, only now she is covered in blood. She looks around, panicking.
Lolita, Lolita!
The thunder rolls in the distance. Interior Serenity, Serenity Valley Cathedral, Sanctuary Day. The doors fall open as Emmy enters, soaking wet from the pouring rain outside. She stumbles towards the front,
God.
tears streaming down her cheeks. She collapses on her knees.
God.
Tatiana.
Who hasn't? Little Perp, do you want to do Tatiana?
Yeah.
Sure. Emerald Riley?
Emmy turns as Tatiana walks down the center aisle towards the front of the church.
I remember you.
Tatiana smiles. Her illusion spell fades, revealing her silver armor, gold bracer on her left arm, and shining dagger in her right hand.
Where is the demon?
I don't know. She left me. I'm afraid she did something terrible.
I'm sure she has. As have you. By dabbling in demonology, you have committed an abomination against God.
Yes, but
Yeah.
But you think you will attain forgiveness for your sins? Your father is dead because of you. Likely whose ever blood that is as well. No, you are past all forgiveness.
when
Emmy
you say it
stand-
like that, it does sound kind of bad.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Emmy stands to her feet, her mind racing. Tatiana smiles, takes a step forward. Emmy bolts for the side door. With a whoosh of her wings, Tatiana raises above the ground.
You can't run from God, little girl.
Exterior, city street, moving day. Emmy races down the street through the pouring rain, thunder booming in the air. Suddenly, Lolita passes out in her demon form. Grabbing Emmy from the throat, she lifts her up and pinning her to the wall.
Believe me now?
Lolita grabs Emmy in both arms and with a whoosh flies up into the sky. Exterior high-rise rooftop. Lolita swoops down, dropping Emmy on the wet roof. She lands in a crouched position, listening intently.
Look,
Shush. I need to make sure we're out of range.
Lolita takes a breath, standing up.
I hate to say... No, I actually love to say it. I told you so. Still think God is going to forgive you?
maybe that was just her.
That was a goddamn angel ready to shish kebab and roast you in hellfire.
Emmy takes a breath. She wraps her arms around her legs as the rain sends a freeze through her body.
You couldn't have left me decent clothes, huh?
Lolita sits down, wraps her arms and wings around Emmy.
The coke wore off. Otherwise, you shouldn't have woken up.
You're trying to kill me, aren't you?
That's up to you, sweetie. We're both destined for hell. The only question is when. I can ride you into the ground, or we can both make this work for the next 60 or 70 years.
All right.
All right.
It's about 9.5 pages.
Okie
Okay.
doke. Well, I found myself a bit more involved this time, so that was cool. We had Emmy and Lolita having a bit more of a differences over. Well, Emmy wants out, but Lolita is a succubus.
Yeah,
All right,
that she is.
all right, Perp.
I really dug it. My character specifically, Tatiana, I really like that she just stands there and lets her run away, almost like showing how these
Yes,
angels
this
just
is-
have
this is-
forever. It's like they're totally in control. It doesn't matter where you run, like all that. Because at first I was thinking, oh, it'd be cool to have a fight scene here, but it's like, nah, she's gonna let her run. She's gonna they're totally in control. I really dug that. I could see, you practice what you preach. Your critique towards mine is like you totally dunked on me in terms of how this is written matter of factly, but I still understood everything. That was awesome. It was great. I think that's it for now. I can't think. I'm scanning through it if you want to move to someone else.
All right, Skinny.
Skinny.
Yeah, I mean, I like the changes you made. It gives a lot more believability to the whole, Lolita and Emmy relationship, where before, she just suddenly, summoned a demon, kills her father, and then out of nowhere she's just like, oh, hey, this demon's cool. I'm gonna, solve crimes with her. To more of now we're both damned. You have no choice. I like that more. You made some really good changes in the script as compared to when it was first read. So I'm liking it overall, man. I mean, good job.
Yeah. Also, if I could add, I really liked the lore building because I was expecting the demon didn't want her to go inside the church because she's gonna burn or some vampire bullcrap. But it's like no, it's very interesting. It's like no, they could see us there. Like that's pretty cool. I think
Yes.
that's really nice.
God's vision works like cell phone towers.
That's right.
Yeah.
God's gonna get some bars of reception on your punk ass.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the recurring critiques has been that they couldn't understand why Lolita was always hanging out with bad people besides the fact that she was a demon. And
Right.
the idea was that humans, everything has an aura, a good or evil inside of them, and some areas are more evil than others. And when you're a damned creature like a demon, and you go somewhere where there's a lot of holy auras, you tend to stand out. That's why when she goes to the strip club, and she told Carlos, "I like the aura here because it covers her," so it's kind of like hiding
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with that, rather than simply she just burns to a crisp
So
or something.
it's hiding
that's
her
cool.
presence from the angels, like
That's cool.
camouflage.
That's really
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like how we
an
plant
interesting
weed, like
idea.
right next to pine trees, so it doesn't
That's
get
right.
picked up on thermal cams. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that at first, but now I'm
That's
even more
the
within it.
idea. That's the idea behind it. It was something that I always had in the background, but I never fully explained what it was early on. So and that was probably confusing some people. So that's why I kind of clarified it here, and I can make it more clear. But I think it gets there's still another 12 pages because each of these are 30 pages each, and there's still another 12 pages for this. So,
Okay.
I
Danny.
really liked this.
Oh wow.
So I'm not familiar with the last version, so I don't know what the nature of the changes are. But
It was a lot. Yeah.
you found a really easy way to integrate Lolita and Emmy into what may well still be the future gangster story if you end up keeping it. So that's great. And you're doing it as early as issue 2, which is also great. So I remember the really long introductory scene, like at the end of issue 3 or in issue 4 or whatever. So we've already got them into that world. You establish a relationship and mutually competing, conflicting desires, which is what you want in a buddy comedy or whatever like this. So that works really well. There's really great tension with the angel showing up and actually being a direct threat. I don't know if that was in the original. And I think the best part about it is afterwards we didn't have enough questions that you had to explain everything, and it's all there on the page. So yeah, I really like this.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Larry.
Thank you for putting the threat back into it, because the angels were like there and then they were gone, and after the first issue, and that was one of my biggest complaints. So I hope you build off of that a little bit more going forward. So and keep them
I'm
more
going to
omnipresent. Yeah.
I'm going to try if what I have planned for the rest of this episode works as well as this does, building off on it. I'm quite literally going to end up having to rewrite the episodes 3 through 8.
Right.
Writing is rewriting.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much.
Unless you're Molby, then it's just getting high in writing.
There you go.
I was sober, man.
Hey,
I don't believe you.
That no, I believe that is Molby's unhindered mind. Okay, that is the scope.
I was the class clown, man.
That's right.
I'm just going with my roots.
Yeah, you gotta go with your roots. Yeah.
That's totally
gotta have
fair.
I represented you, man. I represented you, man.
I didn't recognize it. I'm sorry, man.
I put a maple tree, man. I called him Daddy.
I live in fucking Toronto.
Does that not have maple trees?
I mean, probably
do you
somewhere.
not have camels in Canada? I do all this time.
Yes, that traditional Canadian animal, the camel.
It would have been. It would have been.
Named our buddy after it.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, as a Canadian,
if I was hanging out with Larry in front of a vending machine, I'd be like, "Yo, Larry, you gotta
look at that fucking camel." No, I was like, I love that it was a camel because that image is just really funny.
It's fucking
but
great.
But it would be hilarious if it was like a fucking beaver or something, because you have the double joke of the beaver. Anyway, but yeah.
Okay, anyways, back to John.
Yeah, but the camel is gold though, so don't
I think camel is random enough to be hilarious.
It is.
The camel's so random.
Camels
Because
are just
you
funny
wouldn't expect
anyway,
it.
but yeah.
All right, Demonatrix.
Yeah.
Do we got any? We have not gone to Molby.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, me, man, I like the flow of the conversations. Because, we were here when it started. To me, John's, he's writing it more loosely,
Yeah.
Then, even with the with the explanation to her about her powers. He didn't go into too many, because to me, when you're talking to a female character that's a drunken alcoholic, you gotta the conversation has to be more, lower minded, So John's kept it
Wow.
flowing. He's kept it flowing and made it look. It sounds like a teen
Hashtag Bobby
girl.
respect women.
Yeah.
What? He's a drunk alcoholic teenage girl.
Me
So
too.
Okay, drunken demon. Yeah, that's I think you should rename the book the Drunken Demon.
To
Yeah,
me, I like that.
yeah.
It feels more
Yeah.
like demonic Mean Girls. That
It
last
does. Yeah.
that last good movie that chick made
Uh.
before she became a drug addict.
This was the aftermath.
Awesome. All right, constructive notes.
Yeah, I have more like they're not really construct. I think it's great. So it's more like ideas to add. Now you mentioned that in the first issue, Emmy's father is killed. Does she know this? Does she
Yes.
see
Oh
it?
yeah.
So I
She's
think
wanted by the police for his murder.
sure.
He's the prime
So,
suspect.
sure. So in the beginning of this, she doesn't even think it's real, or she's like lying to herself, saying it's not real. And I think there should be a moment when no, it is real. Like she just my dad, and she starts mourning. And I think you could even make it as a joke with you just have the Emmy, the demon, just sitting there waiting for her to be done mourning. That could just be done in a panel or whatnot. And then also, like I said, I really love that aura idea and the way the angels are behaving, and just like this one scene with them, small scene with them. And I think it would be, you might already have this, but I just started thinking of the idea of like, no, these angels in heaven are like waiting for someone to fuck up to get down there and do shit, almost like soldiers, and I think that could make them more a little bit funnier and at the same time more threatening. It's like, no, you don't understand, these angels wait for this moment. I don't know.
Yeah, there were some threatening moments in the first issue, which is why I suggested bringing them back more often to John. So
what do you mean, Larry? You mean the janitor?
yeah.
No, that janitor's issue 2. That scene literally happened 3 pages before these pages started.
Okay, well, whatever.
She
anyway,
literally just got done killing him, and then shows up at the church to come after Emmy.
Okay, I thought
Does
that
that
was
mean
an issue
I missed the
1.
janitor scene twice?
Yeah.
The janitor scene is how we open issue 2.
He didn't rewrite that part
with
so.
the janitor scene.
Well,
But we're getting off topic.
I have obvious question. All
Okay.
right.
Yes.
How come Tatiana does not? Why is Tatiana talking at all? I don't understand that.
That's a good point.
Because she's looking for Lolita and she can't find her.
She can't see that she's talking to a woman who's literally carrying the demon she's looking for.
She knows that she's the vessel.
He's only
I was going to bring that up too, because you set up this whole thing about auras, and then you have Lolita within Emmy standing right in front of an angel in a church, which definitely would not mesh with your whole aura.
It was a small church. She only had 2 bars. So
exactly. She was downloading. It was slow to load.
I understand that criticism. I am well aware of it. When I wrote it, I just not sure how I'm going to deal with it.
How about this? How about Lolita exits her, before she enters the church, and then once she's out running away from the angel, that's when she can just swoop in, grab her, and fly away and say, "Ha, fucking told you."
That makes sense.
That actually works. She calls for Lolita.
Yeah.
What's wrong with just having a big fight? What's wrong with just having a big angel demon fight? Wouldn't that be cool?
There was an angel demon fight in issue number 1. That's issue number 1.
And you act like we won't need any more of those.
We're gonna have a big one in issue 10, but it's like I can't.
Well, that's 10 issues away, John.
There are too many angel demons in a book entitled "The Demonatrix." All right.
Okay. Let me. So here's why I don't do that.
Okay.
And I need to figure out a more creative way to deal with this.
Okay.
My concern is that if they have a fight in every episode, Lolita is the main character, so she's going to constantly get away, which means that it's going to make the angels look weak.
They already look weak. But
Then they will look weaker.
Right in front of her.
You got Emmy possessed with the demon in a church in front of her. Tatiana gives her some harsh words, and that's pretty much the end of it. Like, yeah.
I mean,
you set her up as this bad bitch by like jamming the janitor with the broom, and then immediately it just. I mean, look.
I understand. No,
Okay.
I get it. I do.
All right.
I understand that needs work.
I'm much less
Skinny-
bothered by that.
All right.
Skinny's idea was my other thought was to have Lolita not be in her at the time and to basically swoop down and grab her.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, like you've already established like 72 hours is, I mean, if you're in a church for that long, you've got other problems. I didn't have a huge problem with that. Like the angel is threatening and is a threat, and they talk about escaping enough. And maybe I missed the art direction where like Lolita came out of Emmy, because that wouldn't have made sense. But I mean, Emmy said Lolita wasn't there. So if Lolita actually just wasn't there, that would have been fine.
Yeah.
For a constructive, I would definitely change the lettering direction to make it really, really clear when Emmy's speaking in Lolita's voice in the sex club scene.
Yeah.
Because that's something that's going to be, and I haven't actually seen the comics, so maybe you have like a solution for this, but that needs to be really, really clear that Lolita is inside Emmy when Lolita is saying Lolita things, and then the fugue state and the waking up as herself is going to land a lot better. Bouncing off of the sorry, I'm just trying to like get all these out of my head.
Okay.
Well, I can remember. Bouncing off of the moment of grief thing. Moment of grief, cut to line of cocaine is comedy gold. If that's the direction you want to go, but like cut to line of cocaine was really good.
Oh, you mean what I did here?
Yes, I would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're going to do that, like, find a way to make it a comedy gag or something. But like that cut was really strong.
Yeah. I know you said you were worried about the angels becoming less of a threat if they're fighting in every issue, but this is probably not the best example, but it's all I can think of right now. I used to watch Power Rangers. They always fought a giant monster in every episode, and they always won, but there was a threat in every episode. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree that I need to do something. I've mentioned this before, but I modeled the angels after the agents in the Matrix.
Right, I know.
So when the angels show up, you don't fight them, you run, because when you fight them, you die.
Yeah,
if
makes sense.
you're constant, if you build up the agents of the Matrix to be this all-powerful thing, and like Neo in Matrix 2, you can just spat them away like they're nothing, they suddenly become impotent and they're not a threat anymore.
He's the one.
And I don't want
and
I don't want that to happen before the climax of the series.
John,
but the agents still like fucked up other people and fucked shit up on their way trying to get to Neo. Like,
right.
Even though they didn't actually fight. So maybe Tatiana like could smash some fucking pews or some shit, and then like Emmy gets out by the skin of her vagina.
Oh, that's funny. But,
no, I get what you're saying, Skinny, and that is something I'm going to try to work into the rewrites to
because you should show that they're powerful too. You don't have to show a fight to show their power. Like she could just fucking demolish that church. I mean,
That would not be a very holy thing to do, though. But I do get what you're saying.
Well, it's an
Um,
angel.
So, John, I had an idea actually. Since you've got the angel giving a speech already, why don't you make it about like a repent and turn back from your evil ways type speech? That's a good reason not to start a fight
Hmm.
because that's very angelic. The angels are
Well,
after the demon, not the humans.
Well, the demon did just murder a guy for sexually abusing a patient
Yeah.
in the hospital by ramming a mop up his butt.
The angels aren't
Yeah.
real cops; they're cosmic cops.
yeah, it
Yeah,
depends
so
though.
maybe Tatiana could say something like, go tie up your loose ends. I'm coming for you after so long, or something like that. Be like, I will give you this amount of time,
Like,
Or-
think
and
towards
then I'll bring you in.
the trying to get Neo to give everything up sort of scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's okay for an agent to do that too, right? And that doesn't require physical force.
Or just have her being really conflicted because she's not supposed to be killing people. So
No,
she
she's
could
not
be.
supposed to be.
She could be switching between her just mindset and her crazy mindset. She's slipping into madness, right? So, yeah.
I think what you gotta do if you wanna, kind of like Larry said with Power Rangers, you can make lower ranked angels. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
That
you
way
can
you
make her
can
lower rank
have.
angel.
That way you can have a way to dispose of some as just fire, and
Yeah.
then you could have higher ranked ones that the old cartoon thing.
You
just
could
you
have
failed me.
wait. You could have holy ninjas.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
they all look like Storm Shadow from GI Joe.
There
with
you
wings.
go.
But
Right.
with
But
angels,
But they're all little cupids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got like little.
Oh,
cute
hey,
wings
now.
and shit. Yeah.
The cherubs were actually higher ranking, but
No,
anyway.
no, never mind. All right.
Yeah. But
You could totally do something. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it was a manga and an anime that I really liked was Hellsing.
oh
And they had this whole
yeah.
Catholic organization. I mean, they had the head priest that you didn't want to fuck with, Anderson, but there were a lot of, lower tier ones. And you could probably have like some kind of priest task force that's kind of working with
I
God
like
and the
that idea.
angels to an extent.
Oh, that works. Man,
A
Larry
holy,
Like beat
holy
cops.
police. Yeah.
Larry wants it to be go demonatrix.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
the morality.
Mighty
force.
Morphin Demon.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that's a good formula to follow, though. Like, if you want to do the battle every issue or whatever. But, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah,
It worked in that show, but,
the priest could work because you could have her kill more humans, and then you could limit how many angels so you don't oversaturate it. I think that's what you're trying to do.
Actually, it was pretty much every kid's show. Like, the bad guys always had a plot. There was a threat, but the good guys would always win, right? So
I was actually
Yeah.
going to bring up Dragon Ball Z in my comparison.
Yeah, it was the same
I
thing.
think you hit a
next
better one with
exciting
Power
And to a certain
episode
extent,
of
I almost feel like a
Demonatrix
lot of those
Z.
kids cartoons would sometimes paint like preparation and forethought as not really the virtue that it is in life.
Yeah,
Because
they did
so
that.
often, like the villain has the foresight to
Yeah.
set up the ambush that the hero just blunders into,
Yeah.
and then defeats the bad guy. But
Yeah.
I don't know, John. It was better.
Yeah.
I thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, as I said, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Or maybe I'll just end the angel villain subplot sooner than I had originally planned. If it doesn't work. Instead of trying to do 10, do 5 or something.
It's
Fair enough.
not a bad idea. But
Beyond the angels, why does Lolita have to tell Emmy the same thing twice? As far as, I can either, ride you until you die within a few days, or we could have a deal going. I don't know why she expresses that on two separate occasions. Maybe I'm misremembering, but it seemed like
No,
it was almost word for word.
I'll have to look into that.
And I gotta say, like,
Probably-
why are you taking away Emmy's agency? or Emma's agency.
Sorry.
Her
Em-
agency?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Emma has no real ability to refuse Lolita, right?
I
Yeah.
guess that comes into the dominating part, right? So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, then, I mean,
Well, that
that
is
means
something she could develop too.
yeah,
Like,
well, sure,
if
but
you look at like a series like King of the Hill, like Luann comes in, she's a great character on that show, but over the series, she does build her own agency. She goes from being forced to do certain things to finding herself, and that could be an
yeah.
overall story for Emma.
Yes, that's where I was going with that.
okay. Well, I'm
Okay.
just saying, like, it makes the morals all wonky because Emmy is your main character and we're following her, but she doesn't even get a choice in the things that she's doing, except maybe she kind of does.
Mm.
It's, I don't know. It's a little
Yeah,
strange.
well, you could to compromise, you could have her say, "Okay, well, let's work out a deal, but I need some ground rules."
Right. See, that would be Emmy's choice, which I don't see Emmy making a lot of choices in this story.
So yeah,
Anyway,
you
yeah.
need the Terminator moment where John tells him not to kill anybody, and
There you
then
go.
he's like, "Yeah, I promise not to kill anyone." Right? Yeah. So
Right.
there was a
Or
compromise.
or even like Venom, you can't kill good people,
Yes,
only bad
that's right.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, one other thing I wanted to touch on was the scene where she stomps on the guy's head. If you're gonna do that POV shot from Carlos's perspective, you probably shouldn't have Lolita saying, "I'm about to stomp you." It's let the show don't tell in a
Yeah,
way.
that's true.
Like
Yeah.
you could still use phrasing like, "You're nothing but an ant," and then have that panel where her foot's raised from his point of view and coming down on him, and that would still
Okay.
convey the same message.
Yeah, yeah, I guess yeah, he's right. You don't need to explain it outright, just show it. But the yeah, you're nothing but an ant, and then it's the stomp. That's a good setup for that. So
Keep smiling.
yeah,
Keep shining. No,
yeah.
you can always. All right. Any other notes?
I know Moldy
Okay.
has
There
notes.
we go. All
Yeah.
right. Oh,
Oh,
So,
Oh,
yeah.
I appreciate it, guys. I do.
all
Well,
right.
the only thing I would say, there's like one line where I think the demon just probably talks a little too high level dialogue for what I'm saying. 'Cause the way I
for,
look at her, you gotta
for,
look at her
for
like
a
she's
lady?
that. No,
Yeah.
like that. No, you gotta look at her like that dumb, high school girl. So you
You
got
gotta look.
you gotta
Yeah, you're
talk
right.
to her
Yeah.
like that.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah,
You know.
That's
God.
just Danny in the way that he reads the lines. It's not the way I intended the character to
Sure.
speak.
Also,
That
someone
is
needs to give a detailed explanation, and I'm just really glad it's there because
There you
I'm
creating
go.
those
really
rules for
happy.
yourself lets you create stories that are trying to bend and break those rules in the world that you're creating.
Yeah.
It's a really strong move.
I'm sorry, say it.
And
What
I
was
gotta say, I
If
prefer the
you,
Valley Girl demon.
sorry,
Danny first.
if
I
you
like the
create
Valley
rules
Girl
for your
demon.
magic
Danny
system,
first.
Yep.
if you create rules for your magic system, then the rules become part of the storytelling, and trying to break the rules and establish what the limits are is part of your storytelling. And your readers are always invested because they know what you put on and off the table. So establishing
I'm a huge believer in that.
so establishing that really well is a really strong move. And so I think, I'm not sure if the language being used really is appropriate. I mean, because I can read big words with all kinds of funny accents,
Right.
apparently. But yeah, that was a really, really strong move. And the way you established it suggested to me that that was going to be part of how you were going to be retelling the story moving forward. So try and keep as much of that as you can if you are thinking about editing it down.
Skinny.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't agree with Moby. I like the Valley Girl demon.
Okay.
Even if you're not intending on it being read that way, I think it should be, because Lolita should look at Emmy like a Valley girl looks at, the poor nerdy girl in class.
There we
Like,
go.
she's just
Okay.
so beneath her. She's just.
Well,
I
that's
think
fine.
that's a
As I
good
said,
dynamic
it's
to have.
if that's the way the reader reads the lines, that's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we made it through another session. Next week I should have,
Yes.
I guess, Lords of Iron. Danny wants me to make some changes to Lords of Iron, so maybe
Yeah.
coming back for that one next week.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea.
I will see everybody next week. Thanks
That's
very
right.
much for tuning in. It's been Press Polar Pocket Jacks Comics. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. Take care.
Don't do
Good night,
drugs,
everybody.
kids.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Drugs are bad.
Say no.